Hello, hello, hello.
Hi.
Can you all hear us okay? Looks like our audio levels are going, so I think we'll be good. If you all have trouble hearing us, let us know in the chat. Well, welcome everyone. This is our first ever live stream. We're very excited about having this live stream happen. I just want to shout out before we even get started, Natalia Rocafuerte, who had an awesome OBS live stream workshop and that I was able to learn from. She's an incredible artist from Brownsville, and we love to hype her up when we can. So
Thank you.
Thank you. Welcome everyone. Happy Sunday. My name is Díaz. I'm one of the co-founders and worker owners, current worker owner of ENTRE Film Center and Regional Archive. And to my left,
I'm Monica Sosa. I am also a worker owner here at ENTRE, Brownsville native, and just really excited to be able to have this combo with you all again.
Yeah, we're excited to be able to check in. We know that, and we're going to be like reading off some notes because we want to make sure we keep this on point and within an hour. Because if you notice, we can both talk for a long time. But we wanted to just kind of take this moment to check in because a lot has happened since March when we last had programming go down. So we're going to take some time to kind of reintroduce ourselves to the community. A lot of folks maybe haven't seen me and Monica together a lot in person, and she's going to be here all month, so we're very excited.
Yes, I'm very happy.
Yeah, do you want to talk about what ENTRE is?
Sure. So ENTRE is an artist-run community film center and regional archive here in the Rio Grande Valley. It started in 2021 with Díaz and Andres Sanchez. And I joined them back then, but I joined officially as a worker owner last year. Really ENTRE is a space that was created with the intention of building and bringing community together through creative expression, exhibits, preservation, and community-made cinema. This is also done through documentary, video art, and other forms of creative expression that we can foster here at ENTRE, either through skills, equipment, or just support, right? All we need is to be each other's cheerleaders. So that's kind of what we're really wanting to build here at ENTRE. We are a worker-owner cooperative, which means that we work and own at ENTRE.
Yeah, I think that's this is a very important thing we want to make sure everyone is aware of. We are not a nonprofit. We haven't never been a nonprofit. We don't intend on becoming one. We are a worker-owned cooperative, and the reason we chose that model to begin with was to have agency and more ownership over the work that we are doing here in South Texas, in the Rio Grande Valley, Delta region. A lot of the time, places like archives or even some nonprofits, I won't speak for all of them, no shade to anyone who's a nonprofit, it's just that wasn't the model we wanted to uphold because we believe in horizontal leadership. That's why we are worker owners. There are no directors of ENTRE, there are no board members or things like that. We are artists that are really impassioned and committed to the work of sharing knowledge, sharing access to resources, and opportunities for folks here in the region to learn how to make films, but also find their voice through the cinematic medium, and also learn how to preserve that because there's not a lot of preservation of our history in different more individual lenses. I would say like home movies, oral histories. We're seeing history documented in our region in very colonial and whitewashed ways, and external lenses, people coming in, telling our stories for us and then leaving. So ENTRE was founded on this idea and this spirit of being able to come together collectively, bring our skills together as a cooperative, as a collective, and build something new, a new model for not just creative economies, but of existing within society. We very much, as worker owners, this is very big part of our lives is ENTRE. All of our worlds revolve around ENTRE
all the time.
ENTRE mundos. We just want to make it very clear, we are designed this way because we want other people to find their own leadership, their own confidence to pursue projects, to pursue interests. We're not here to make filmmakers and put everyone, even though if that's what you want to be, that's great, but that's not our goal. Our goal is to create strong community leadership, new ideas, new perspectives, new philosophies on how to engage with our history, keep it current, keep it known, so that we don't forget and that we can connect to our past and find that history that, you know, makes us stronger, makes us more engaged with the world around us, I would say. Anything else you want to add to that? I can go on and on.
So much. But the reality too is I think we need to uplift the fact that this is very hard, right? This is also like, we're stepping into a new model of doing this work and of creating the worlds that we want to see for our community, because we have to, we constantly remind ourselves that we're working with the micro and then working to influence the macro from wherever we're at. And so, you know, ENTRE really started off as a labor of love, and it still is. And, you know, most of it was volunteer-based for a long time, right? We were contributing this time, energy, training, skills, expertise from all areas, right, including our community. Yet, we are now in this position where we have established ourselves in a way where we know who we are, we know who we want to be, and we know our community and want to make sure that it's always carried with us. And with that, you know, in the recent years, we have become more grant funded. And, you know, this is also kind of rare given that we are not a 501c3 status or nonprofit, but we have a lot of programming, a lot of offerings that essentially are still in the same vein of public service and community investment. So with that, we've challenged and really tried to connect with people who align with us, who want to directly invest in our mission and values. We are not one to conform or try to adjust based on something that does not serve our community or directly help invest in it. And so, yeah, we have been very, very active in the backstage and like the funding world, which is very hard to navigate at times. But we have been successful in garnering support from different funders and supporters. Do you want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah, and we are also, one of our core like tenets and values is, you know, we honor transparency within ourselves, within the space. Anyone who comes into the space, we want people to be honest with us, transparent with us. That's why we don't censor ourselves or try to cater to any sort of, you know, mold that people are trying to put us into or put our work into. So in lieu of all of that, wanting to be transparent with everyone who knows about us and knows about the work we are doing, we wanted to just share like who is supporting ENTRE right now. Right now we are grant funded, like Monica mentioned. We've received awards from the Mellon Foundation, from the Mid-America Arts Alliance, which by the way was the first organization that first funded ENTRE. Our first $20,000 came in the form of an artist fellowship in 2021 through the Mid-America Arts Alliance. So it's coming back full circle. They're helping us out with just general operating support, which is rare for funders to just give organizations like ourselves and other nonprofits.
Very rare.
Yeah, very rare for them to just give you funds to do as what you think needs to be done with. And it doesn't, like, obviously are following certain standards, but like we can use it to pay our rent and things like that, which is very, very helpful since we don't sell anything.
Yeah. And we don't intend to.
Yeah.
We, you know, we definitely hope to see more of this trajectory where funders are directly investing in people who are doing this work on the ground and really making it unrestricted. I think more than ever we need that, so that because generally what you see in the nonprofit world is funders fund programs, not people. But people are needed and necessary there, and I mean, people should be funded and supported regardless of what field they're in. But yeah, this is a time that I feel we can start to shift and advocate for ourselves in ways so that these people in certain positions can see us and invest in us in a way that will be sustainable and have long-term impact.
Yeah, and I love that you said that, like the people over program, because I think that's also why we became why we are a cooperative, is because we value the people first that are doing the work, the people we are serving, rather than like trying to roll out many programs at a time and exhaust ourselves. So we really are in alignment with that, and we hope to see more of that in the future, even in this very chaotic and uncertain landscape of funding for arts and culture that we are facing right now in America, or United States, I should say. Yeah, so with that being said, we, in addition to monetary sponsorship, we also have sponsorship, help or support around technical assistance, which has been super helpful for us here, because you know, we do a lot of different things, as you'll find out later on, and I'm sure many of you know, when we talk about what we do at ENTRE, it's just so much, and it seems a little overwhelming. We're a multi-pronged space, because we have two different arms with the Film Center and the Archive, and within those arms there's a lot of programs that are separate but also work together, and there's a lot going on. So yeah, entre todo. But what we've been able to do this past year, and it started last fall, but you know, I think this is why we wanted to talk to everyone today, is because we have been doing a lot behind the scenes, behind the blackout shades, which had got dry cleaned due to the flood. But behind the shades, we've been doing a lot of background work on our foundation, our framework as an organization, and also strategic planning about where we see the space and its growth in the next 5 to 7, 10 plus years, you know? So a lot of that work is very internal and not public facing, but we are working on making public facing documents that we can share with other people who are interested in starting a cooperative like ENTRE. Yeah. We're really just figuring this out as we go along. The passion and the love is there, and we're just kind of navigating as we can throughout these different, I guess, happenings, things that we stumble upon. And so we're really happy to have the Nonprofit Finance Fund helping us with our financial strategic planning, which is super helpful when you're receiving awards and you have to keep track of multiple things. It is a lot of work, so it's really helpful to have some professional expertise on all of that. And then we are also a member of the Color Congress, which is an amazing BIPOC-led organization for non-fiction filmmakers and filmmaking organizations, and ENTRE is one of them. They were also an early supporter back in 2022. They granted us a 2-year unrestricted grant to help do things like our documentary intensive that happened in 2022. That was funded by Color Congress. So yeah, Color Congress offers different technical assistance to their membership. We're one of 90+ member orgs, and this year we are working with a strategic planner to help us develop our solidarity principles as an organization. So that way we can share, you know, what we stand for, what we believe in, our mission, and also how it operates, how things work in the back end in terms of being a worker owner, in terms of having different committees and things like that, and how we govern ourselves. Yeah,
and keep each other accountable. That's definitely something, as you mentioned earlier, transparency and vulnerability is so important for ENTRE in a way of really grounding in restorative justice, in harm reduction, in terms of how we continue to build and grow with one another and see each other succeed. And you know, that takes a lot of vulnerability and ability to kind of say well, maybe this isn't the right direction, let's reroute. And that takes a lot of risk-taking and experimenting, and you know, I feel like ENTRE has really built that for us, and so we want to share that, right? Because not that everything has to look in the way that ENTRE is doing it, but if it can offer a blueprint or some kind of roadmap in terms of well, it's been done like this is a recipe that worked for these folks, how can I make it my own? Because the goal and the desire would be to see so many more creatives invested in, funded, supported, not just by our community, which is so strong and so incredibly loving. You know, this is the reason why we do the work, but also, you know, supported through all these avenues that allows us to really redirect where our love, our investment in terms of finances, time, energy, all this can be circulated in an area that continues to nourish all of us and the ecosystems that exist here in the valley. And so we're just really happy to be able to do this in partnership with so many other beautiful creatives in this region and the people who support us across the world, which is really beautiful. Yeah, accountability, transparency, and being, you know, as honest and forward about what we're saying. So here we are.
Yeah. No, thank you, Monica. Yes. Yeah. No, I think we just wanted to lay that all out for you because it has been a big part of our work these past few months and has continued and will continue into the end of this year. Us like developing these frameworks and they're ongoing. They're meant to evolve with the organization. One thing we talk about a lot is succession. Like, you know, I know we're still young as an organization. We're only going to go on 5 years old in October, I think, already. So, you know, it's just remarkable how much we've done in these last 4 years or so, and also thinking about where we're going and how we're setting up the org for success beyond our own involvement. And I guess we can use that as a segue to go into like what's been going on here. So I think the biggest, I mean, a lot of people know this already, but if you're not aware, we were hit really bad by a flood in on March 27th of this year. ENTRE is located in downtown Harlingen. That was one of the regions in the Rio Grande Valley that got hit really bad. We had about 15 inches of rain in our building, and it was, you know, we were lucky we didn't lose a lot of our gear or equipment or anything like our main computer and server and stuff like that, but we did lose a lot of our media library, and that's a big hurt because I'm a huge book person and a lot of the library was personal collections that I had contributed, like donated to the space and donations from other folks and cool rare finds, so it hurt a lot to see those books wet and moldy and full of little bugs and stuff, and so we had to discard them. But so yeah, that happened, and that is the reason why we haven't been open these past few months, because it just felt like a really big, it was very overwhelming, and I don't think I would have personally made it out okay without everyone who came through. Like literally the day after the flood, which was a Thursday night, Friday we had folks coming through all day long, bringing food, water, cleaning supplies, shop vacs, you know, people power. You know, it was so moving, and that happened on Friday and Saturday. And in these past months, we've had people come through to lend a hand in getting the space back to best, you know. And we also had a lot of, you know, support monetarily from the community as well. Like, you know, we didn't start any sort of campaign or anything like that. You all just started donating to us, and that really, like, it really helped us feel safe and stable in moving forward in a way that we want the space to feel like your space when you come in. We want the space to feel, just, I don't know, to generate that feeling. So we've been taking our time. That's what I want to say.
Yeah, I mean, and that goes with our ethos, right? Where it's that intention and quality over quantity, and really wanting to kind of like continue to reciprocate the love that we continue to receive, and that looks like building beautiful spaces or offering great programming. But I mean, as you can see behind us, do you want to talk about these beautiful?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Well, we had to set up the stream right in front of the new shelving system because this is part of the big thing that we were hoping to unveil this month for you all. Is a really new and improved way of perusing our media library. If you'd been here before, our library was on multiple different shelves that we had, bookcases that we bought that were on the floor. And our library was not organized, it was not alphabetized, it was not by genre or anything like that. There were 2 tapes deep that you had to like kind of dig around. And I think that was part of the fun people had, was like digging into the library and like looking at all the tapes we had before screening or after screening or on a weekend when we were just open. And we want to have that, still that energy and that fun, but at least also for people who want to use their membership to rent, because all the stuff in this library is rentable for free if you're a member. So to be able to make the space a little bit more accessible, we've been working on categorizing, putting everything into our database, all the films and movies you see back here. So that's slowly being done. That way you can have a better perusing experience, and also use like our database to search for a specific movie if you're looking for something specific. So this is part of our renovation.
We also, another part of our renovation is we're super excited to open up, obviously the ENTRE 3.0.
Yeah.
But we got so excited about the idea of offering like a cyber cafe kind of workspace. You know, so we'll be putting in some small works areas. People can rent out laptops. There'll be a digitization station, as well as a BAVAC kit that will be set up for folks to access, which is super exciting. And really the desire is to offer an alternative to, you know, it's great to be able to go to a coffee shop or a library, all these different places, but also this is an opportunity to work in a space that feels comfortable. You can work with others. This can also be a good meeting space, and also an opportunity to just kind of play and learn a little bit more about what we have here, either in our library, in our gear closet, or yeah, just what we might have access to.
Yeah, we want this, we are focusing our reopening in this 3.0 to be more, I think more tangible for folks. Like, you know, being able to be in the space more often. We're hoping to have regular hours at some point after we start figuring out what the onda is when people start coming once we reopen.
Yeah,
like,
if y'all have any suggestions.
Yeah, drop them in the chat if you have hour suggestions, because we do not know what hours to
work
do.
For people.
Yeah.
We're trying to find ways like an afternoon, evening. You know, what's the soft spot?
Yeah. So we're trying to have the space opened up more regularly. If you had been here before, if you know about us before, our space was only open for events. And we tried some open studio hours last year, which were successful in some moments and not in so many in others, but we still really feel like the space has so much to offer. We want people to be able to utilize all the resources we have. So yeah, like Monica said, we're gonna have a public digitization station that includes this kit from our homies at the Bay Area Video Coalition that has a great workshop on how you can learn how to digitize tape media and learn about tape media. And so stuff like that, our library, our gear closet, internet, you know, and all of this for free. It's quite unheard of in many spaces, but
there's a fridge space, a microwave.
So we just want to make the space open to people who want to use it to work, to connect, to commune, to organize. This is a space for just having space to talk about, you know, radical ideas or projects, or, you know, just have quiet time to do your research. We're here for you. So that's kind of what we're moving towards. We're going to be slowly, by the end of the month, you'll start seeing a little bit more progress on the shelves. But we'll be open so that way you can, come by and check it out. And I guess that will lead us into what we have coming up this month with programming. So first things up is our Texas Duras, Trocas Duras Texas tour. This is a really exciting program that I've been developing alongside my friend Jasmine and Monica here at ENTRE, like just having this idea of like wanting to offer shared programming from, you know, along the border, because ENTRE is also part of this Border Town Film Collective that has different filmmakers and organizations across the U.S.-Mexico border and in San Antonio and Austin. And yeah, I just thought like it would be cool to have, you know, for us to share more of the programming that we're bringing to our spaces. So one thing I brought up was this film, Trocas Duras, that was made by Jasmine Garcia back in 2024, so last year, not too far ahead, but long ago, that I recently watched at the top of this year, and like just really was moved by. It's a film about day laborers in Los Angeles and their trucks, and Jasmine will join us in a second so she can tell you a little bit more about it. But we're taking Jasmine on tour across the valley and the Texas-Mexico border. So these are the tour dates. If you are in any of these regions, in the next week, we will be visiting them. Eagle Pass, we have more information about that, so if you need it, just let us know in the chat and we'll drop that in the chat. But yeah, we're very excited to visit these communities and share this work across the border with Jasmine. And with that, we'll bring Jasmine up so she can talk a little bit about some of her. I wish you had like a song cue.
Yeah.
Hi. Do I just go?
Yeah.
Hi everybody, I'm Jasmine. Thank you, C and Monica, for inviting me to Texas. This is my first time in Texas, so I feel very honored and privileged to be able to share this very special film with you. And I hope to see you at ENTRE on Thursday night, where I'll also be showing a bunch of my old work with like general themes around the intersection of beauty and justice. I love everything you two are talking about, and you know, the collective nature of the only path forward to our society being collective, and I think filmmaking and storytelling have a role in that, and so hopefully we can all share together, share stories and inspiration and ideas, and I would love to meet people locally in Texas, so thank you so much.
Yes, thank you for being here. We're so excited to have Jasmine here and have her visit Texas for the first time. For her to come to the Valley for the as her first trip is amazing. So yeah, come through on Thursday, July 10th. Doors at 7. Program starts at 8. It'll be about an hour's worth of films by Jasmine, and then a little artist Q&A talk at the end. So if you are, you know, an aspiring filmmaker or just want to come see some really beautiful short films and music videos and documentaries, like, come through. We are really looking forward to having you back in this space, and also to have Jasmine here to meet our community. So come through and say hi. So thank you, Jasmine.
Thank you.
Okay, what's next? Art night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, okay. You want to talk about art night?
Yeah, so Trocas Duras is kind of like a soft launch, right, where we're still in preparation. Harlingen Art Night will be the more official reopening of ENTRE 3.0. So we're super excited because we'll be opening for Art Night, which is Friday, July 25th. We are featuring a really cool photo booth installation by Loba Productions, who is Jenny Alvarado. And we are also excited to be featuring the premiere of Cine Scene number 11, which is amazing. And this is going to be in collaboration with the Institute for Music Evolution, which is going to play a live score that evening. And so that starts the doors open at 7, performance starts at 8:30. A really cool opportunity to kind of see everything that we've just shared about the space. Of course, given that we are going to be very intentional, some things will still be in the works, but you'll really get to see like the skeleton and foundation and the vision that we really want to build for and with you. And so, yeah, it's a new era, y'all, where we're entering into a space of, you know, everything is talking about evolution, even Institute of Music Evolution.
Yeah, everything is evolving constantly. Yeah, Art Night is great. If you've never been to Harlingen Art Night, we're always happy to be open for Harlingen Art Night and see what else our friends in the neighborhood are doing. So there's a lot of galleries around Entre, and our friends at Bandera always have like the best coffee, cocktails, and sometimes a little performance in their backyard and stuff. So we encourage people to come to Art Night, check out what's going on in the neighborhood, and then come to Entre at 8:30 so you can catch the live score of this beautiful film that we made at South Padre Island's Art Walk back in March. So it's a very recent Cine Scene production, and we are very excited to share it with everyone on Friday the 25th.
Yep.
And I think, So Cine Futuros is our next announcement that we wanted to share with you all. So I'm sure you all have seen this floating around our Instagram these past few months. We've partnered with UTRGV's Creative Writing Department and Kristen Montes, who has been a programmer with us at ENTRE these past couple of years. She did the Agnes Varda retrospective I think it was at the end of 2023. So if you haven't seen this program yet, it's called Cine Futuros. It's an experimental showcase, short film showcase. So we're encouraging people to just have fun and play and make a film based on some themes that Kristen put together. You can read about all the themes on our website. I won't go down. They're very intricate and beautifully written, so I think you all should read them. But basically what we're looking for is short films between 30 seconds and 5 minutes, exploring these various themes of identity, subversion of narrative, and life here on the border, whether that's in a film poem or a video piece or maybe something abstract. We're like just wanting to get people to have a little bit more experimentation and fun with the process of creating a piece of film or video, and just submitting it and seeing what you create. Yeah, submissions are free. The deadline for submission is August 1st. So we're opening it up for everyone. This had started as a project that was just for UTRGV students, and we've since then opened it up to more community members because we felt like it would just be better to have more input from everyone in all backgrounds, ages. You don't have to be a filmmaker to submit. You can partner with other people who have other skills if you want to be part of a team, or if you want to be on your own. It's totally up to you. If you have any questions, you can email us or Kristen, and we'll drop those. All that information's on our website, but we'll put all this in the show notes of this live stream once it gets archived, so you can come back to it. You can also find all the information on our Instagram or the website, so you can learn more about it. But yeah, we hope to see some. We've already gotten a few submissions, so yeah, I'm really excited to see what else comes in to the showcase. The showcase will be on August 23rd. That's a Saturday. So we'll be inviting the selected films and the filmmakers to come present their work at ENTRE and talk a little bit about the process. So if you're interested, please sign up.
Please apply.
Yes.
Don't worry, we're all risk takers, so take the risk.
Yes.
So next, we wanted to talk a little bit about Boca Chica, Corazón Grande. This was a community archival project that was launched in October 2021.
Yeah, the very beginning.
Yeah, the very beginning. It's very life-giving to kind of see the evolution that this project has had in the last 4 years and the type of relationships that we've been able to build and are still building. On the screen is a very beautiful photo from our contributor, Mary Helen Flores, an amazing organizer, activist, human being from Brownsville, Texas. This photo is of her mom, her dad, herself, and her sisters, and it was taken in 1971. And the reason why we started this community archival project was it was started as a personal endeavor, given that this is something that I personally experienced as well. Growing up and enjoying the beach, the land, and the water, and being a part of this cultural gem and working class history. And so in the last decade or more at this point now, we have seen Boca Chica stripped and violated and destroyed in many different ways, and so we won't go too into depth in this soulless destruction. But we are grounding in memory and healing as creative resistance. And so this project really is geared towards collecting, preserving, and protecting those lived experiences that people have shared on this beach and in our region. And so over the last 4 years, we've added to the collection of Boca Chica history when there was only less than 4 documents in our historical association and archive of moving images in the state. And so we are at 70 records at this time, and of course we are always trying to engage with folks who are, who want to build this with us, and that requires a lot of transparency, trust, and vulnerability from all ends. And so now, as we continue to enter and move into year 5, we're working towards doing an oral history production, which we will be featuring Mary Helen Flores. And this will allow us to document her lived experience and the last 6 decades or so of her life, and how this area and Boca Chica Beach is firmly a part of this ecosystem, and also of her being and identity, which is why she still continuously organizes and advocates for it on the reg. And so again, this work is hard and heartbreaking, but at the same time, we've been able to position ourselves through the very beautiful form of memory and cinema and photos, documents, printed matter. And we're just very grateful for all of the support we've received around Boca Chica, all of the involvement and engagement that people have allowed us to share with them and build with them, and the opportunity to continue to do this. This is a long-term project, but we're still collecting movies, home movies, photographs, any records, postcards, letters, and if you have, we really encourage people to write down their memories, because acknowledging the fact that photos and photography is something that not everyone had access to. But that doesn't mean that these memories should not be collected. Mm-hmm. We need to tell our stories, and we need to have them written down or documented. And so, if you ever have the opportunity, even if it's with a family member, we strongly encourage that. But if you ever feel compelled, you're more than welcome to come and find us, come see us here during open studio hours. Or just inquire a little bit more, and we're happy to share about this archival project and our way of wanting to pursue this type of work.
Yeah, so thank you for sharing the beautiful project that is Boca Chica Corazón Grande. This project has just evolved in such a beautiful way as well, and we're just really excited to see so much interest in it. From all areas, and we encourage folks who have memories of Boca Chica to reach out to us through email or DM, so that way we can connect and see how we can preserve your memories into the archives collection, and also just uplift like all the different ways people are existing on this beach right now. Yeah. And I guess with that, we can talk a little bit about the archive and what we have going on in the archive. And I want to introduce our summer archive intern, Linda Smith. Yay! Linda's coming through. She's been running the stream. Now Jasmine's running the stream. Linda, welcome.
Welcome to the ENTRE 3.0 show.
We're here.
So, Linda, tell everyone who you are, what you're about, and what you've been doing here.
Yes, so I am originally from Texas, but up near the Tyler area, so this is kind of my first time being further south than San Antonio, but I am enjoying it. And yeah, I've been living in New York with my spouse for the past couple of years, and I'm currently in New York University's Moving Image Archiving and Preservation program. So, what exactly does that mean? That means, thinking about projects like Boca Chica, Corazón Grande, these, videos and audio materials, and how do you save them so that, they can be enjoyed and, used as learning tools for hopefully a very long time to come. So yeah, kind of learning best practices for how to care for these kinds of materials. That includes, things like the magnetic media, VHS tapes that you see behind you, up to, digital videos that are being created today. So, and I met C because they came to one of my classes in my first semester, Introduction to Moving Image Archiving and Preservation, and they talked a lot about ENTRE and the projects that they do here, and I was just very taken with everything and knew that I wanted to do my summer internship here. And it was really, they make us choose 5 places, but really this was like the one I wanted. So yeah, I'm incredibly happy to be here, and I will be helping out with the Boca Chica Corazon Grande production that we're gonna do over a few days later this month. I have a couple other projects as well. Some of it has been the, VHS tapes and the DVDs and Blu-rays you see behind you. And also, yeah, like working to get it kind of organized in the database, all kinds of stuff like that. I'm also working with what we have so far of the Rio Grande Valley Home Movie Collection, which these materials get sent to Texas Archive of the Moving Image, or TAMI, as it's sometimes called, which is in Austin, Texas, and they are, inspecting these films or these videos. They're cleaning them if need be, and then they are digitizing them, taking what's on them, converting them to digital files. We get a copy of the digital files, and then also the donors get both the original materials back and those digital files. So it's really giving like this intimate, personal picture of life in the valley. And a lot of people probably think like, my family's just, we're just regular people, like maybe, these are just graduations, birthdays, Christmases, but you really do get this amazing look into life in this region, and I think it's great. And yeah, I'm just super happy to be a part of all of it.
We're super happy to have you.
Yes, we're so
real,
excited to have Linda here, because the archive is pretty big now.
Yeah.
We have over 2,000 materials of film and video material that have been digitized by TAMI, as Linda mentioned, and Linda will be helping out Gladys Ornelas, our archive assistant, who was our intern last year and helped start up the database for the home movie collection. So they're continuing that project. And both Linda and Gladys will be creating a training document, because one of the things we are planning to do later this year, hopefully, is create an archive working group, and that's where we can start training people in the community on how to do what Linda's doing, how to digitize, how to index, how to catalog. So if you're interested in anything Linda was saying, or the things that we talk about as an archive, then stay tuned, because you can come help out and work in the archive with us. So very, very soon. So thank you, Linda, for joining. Yay! Okay. So yeah, the archive is something that's always in motion in the background. Constantly, there's a lot of work to be done, and just like any archive or archivist, the work is never over. So this is ongoing, and we do it with pride and intention and care, and very close communication with our archive contributors. So
Yes, they are with us along the entire way for most of it.
So the next thing we're going to talk about, and we're going to start rounding out so that way we can answer some questions if anyone has any. I don't see any so far, but the next thing we'll talk about is our garden and ways you can get involved at ENTRE. So you all might have seen a lot of content about the garden, or heard, if you've come by, I've talked about the garden, or if you've seen me, I talk about the garden, or if you follow me, you see me in the garden. I love our garden. I'm so happy that we have this new space in our backyard that's been being developed over the last few months. It started with a partnership with the Native Plant Project here in the Valley. They reached out asking for tips on audio-visual gear to film their monthly meetups. And I just was like, why don't I come film your monthly meetups and you help me with this garden? So we made a trade, a barter, because we're anti-capitalists here at ENTRE.
Yes.
We like having alternative ways of exchange and transaction. And so, I can exchange my skills and resources for their skills and resources, and then we both have this beautiful like symbiotic relationship, right?
It's
So
how we invest in our ecosystems.
it's how we invest in our ecosystems, not just you know, in nature ways, but like in our communities. You know, like how do we continue to build this like universe, this orbit of these interlocking ideas and people. And the garden is one of those, and I'm so happy about it. And I'm going to invite you all to come help in the garden. It's a community space. It's, you know, the goal for the garden is to be another green space in downtown Harlingen, to reforest our region. You know, the flood really like shows you like these issues that we've been seeing in climate change, and especially this flood. You know, we live in a delta floodplain. So yes, this is, you know, it's going to happen. You're going to get a lot of water. But where does the water go, right? We're in this paved asphalt like communities. So having more spaces with native plants to help reduce and have a place for the water to go somewhere is really important. And you know, we don't have a huge lot, but we have some land, and we wanted to just beautify it for our community, so it can be a space where we can have workshops, we can have screenings outside, we can have meals, kind of like our end of the year that we did last year. We had a really cute dining experience outside. But for the most part, the garden is a space for people to come, even if you're not a gardener, but you just want to like learn or meet other people who are into the natural world and know about it. That's what I love about this work. I like, you know, I don't know how most of these plants, but I've been learning about them ever since, you know, the Native Plant Project has been coming and helping us. So we invite you. We're going to start this. This is going to be a Sunday thing. I may or may not be present during every Sunday, but it's an open invitation for anyone on Sundays from, I think I put, 6 to 7 p.m., just an hour, to come to the garden during dusk and help weed, bring a plant that you want to contribute, do some watering, stuff like that, stuff to maintain it so that way the garden doesn't get too overgrown with, you know, invasive species. But also, like, if you just want to come and meet people and see what's going on, we have an open invitation every Sunday at ENTRE, 6 to 7 p.m. Come through. We'll teach you how to do a few things, show you what the names of the plants are, and you can help contribute to, if you have anything you want to contribute to the garden. We've gotten roses, we've gotten butterfly peaberry vines, we've gotten a Turk's cap, we've gotten so many beautiful plants from people who just want to be a part of it. So feel free, if that's what you want to do, we would love to have you here. But yes, we're very excited about the garden.
Yes, it's beautiful. It's so great.
And then I think we're just gonna maybe talk a little bit about how people can get involved, just in ENTRE in general. So we can go back to like thanks, Linda. And I'll let, you can take it away.
Yeah, okay.
Take it away,
Johnny. So there's a lot of ways to engage and be in relationship with ENTRE. Another way to learn and just keep up to date with what's going on, we try to curate and really beautifully build a newsletter where we share a little bit more about what's going on. We invite different voices. Recently we featured Linda, who wrote a little bit more about the library and a directory where you can go ahead and help replace some of those media if you'd like to. But yeah, we encourage you to sign up, keep up with the newsletter. You know, there's always different volunteer opportunities. We're still really focusing on, again, with the garden, inside, really working to create the space that we hope that will feel functional and comfortable and really just fluid in the ways that we need it to be. And so that requires, upkeep and investment and love. So if you want to volunteer in that way, there's always that opportunity during programs or end of the year. We also, encourage folks to reach out. And then, as C mentioned earlier, we are really wanting to think of different ways that we can activate ourselves, whether it's activating small gardens or activating different periods of change. We also, there's this beautiful bridge that I think we're all building between memory and archives and film and creative expression. And the desire is to see how we can continue to, again, redirect the skills, any kind of support or resources in a way that we can continue to work together, I guess, the symbiotic relationship. And so we're considering building some committees around the film programming committee and also an archive programming committee. You know, there will be an essence of advocacy and also community building in these areas. And this is also an opportunity for folks to learn a little bit more about how we govern ourselves, how we operate as artists and worker owners and community members, community representatives. And yeah, I think really we're hoping that people will feel comfortable to, you know, find that entry from one of these areas and just continue to kind of be like, oh, I'm interested in learning more about that or about this. And that's kind of the beauty of ENTRE too, is like it is really much a web of resources and nourishment and strategy.
I wanted to say a choose your own adventure, because like there's so many things that we want to offer folks and ways that people can get involved, that I think it leads people down paths that maybe they weren't expecting. And I think that's like the beauty of everything that we are hoping to provide here at this space, is opportunities for us to like envision our lives differently and build life differently, not just for ourselves individually but for the collective, and practice that not just inside the space but outside in life. I think a lot of our work centers around very strong sense of values around the things we believe in and care about, that it's not just for the space that we hold, it's for everything. And I think being able to have that holistic approach to the work also allows for like more space for people to enter at any level that they feel comfortable at. And so these committees and these working groups are going to be really exciting, because that allows folks, if you were a film programmer these past few years, thank you so much. Like, you really helped us have like a very robust and varied programming schedule. And you know, with all the stuff that has happened in these past couple months, with us having to shut down for a few months to renovate, with Andra stepping down as a worker owner due to capacity and, you know, other life trajectories, you know, our capacity for programming is, you know, quite low right now, and we are working our best to get back to what, you know, we were used to having, but we can't do that without the help of our community. And so the film programming committee will be one that there are responsibilities, but also space to like kind of experiment and grow within that if you've never programmed with us before. So don't let that intimidate you. All these groups are open to anyone from any background, any skill level, whether you've been to an ENTRE event or not. Like, if you're interested in film programming or working on the archive or doing advocacy work within the community using art, these are all avenues you can get involved in, and we'll be releasing more information about all of that in the coming months. So just stay tuned. But we just wanted to put that on everyone's radar, because ENTRE cannot exist without the involvement of people in our community. It cannot just be us two. It needs to be all of us, and we all have to find our ways to contribute and also take that work, like I was saying earlier, from here out there into the bigger world, into the rest of our relationships, to change things. Things aren't good right now.
Yeah, it is a matter, I think it really is challenging sometimes in these ways, because we are also, like, everything that is being shared here and the relationship that we continue to build is also based on embodying these values and mission, which is hard at times, especially when we're living in this political landscape that makes you want to despair and hide in gloom and doom. And so, yeah, this is a call to action for our community. This is a call to action for ourselves, right? How are we showing up for one another, and how can we build, right? Like, not just have that vision supported, but really supported in growth, right? How do we lay down the bricks, and how do we build this foundation that allows us to continue to grow and grow in the way that nourishes us rather than depletes us, and in a way that is not aligned with what we need to heal and prosper and thrive. And so none of this work is easy, because it does require a lot of investigation, which, you know, is often hard truths and lived experiences with a lot of grief and violence. but at the same time we are trying to redirect and reframe, not just through archives or film, but how do we activate the things that bring us joy and beauty, and offer that fire, that light, that ability to take that, to have that courage to take that risk, to express ourselves, to connect with other people, to step out of your comfort zone, to submit to Cine Futuros, to volunteer, or just to be around other people, because sometimes, especially post-COVID and quarantine, like, relationships have changed, including with the internet, right? So the hope is for ENTRE to really provide a space where people can commune, can connect, can feel safe. You know, we really want people to show up with the acknowledgement of what kind of energy they're bringing into the space, because again, we all have to be accountable and responsible in the ways that we respond and show up. But anyway, ENTRE is a lifelong thing. Again, like, ENTRE is a part of my life. Every single day I wake up and I'm like, okay.
Yes.
But it is important for us, and it's exciting to be able to build this with our people and our community and the people who love and support us, and we want to love and support as well.
So with that said, thank you for so beautifully. Monica's so articulate. I love hearing Monica talk. So with that being said, we're at the hour at 5 already. Do we have any questions, Linda, in the chat? No one has any questions for us? Just lots of little hearts.
Cute.
Hi Lumia, hi Cielo, hi Voices Crew, hi
Yes.
Brandon. Well, if there are no questions for us,
You can always reach out.
yeah, you can always reach us at info@entrefilmcenter.org. And yeah, we hope to see you on Thursday.
Yeah.
Thursday, come through to ENTRE, come see the space, and come watch some films. And then hopefully, Andrea, yes! Andrea was our oh, yeah, I guess we can announce that later, but Andrea was our artist in residence last year, and we're happy that she's in the chat right now. Shout out. But yeah, if y'all liked our live stream, let us know. We might want to do more of them, because I had so much fun building
That was really great.
OBS
You did
scenes.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you, Natalia, again.
Yeah.
And yeah, I guess stay tuned for more updates from ENTRE, and sign up for our newsletter, follow us on Instagram, and come see us at the space IRL on July 10th. It's a Thursday. All right, anything else? I saw something else come in. No, just little hearts.
Support and love.
Thank you all. We love you so much, and we can't wait to see you in this space soon. Yeah, well, we'll leave it there.
Yeah.
All right, have a great